Hello. A cellular automaton is a mathematical model that consists of a grid of cells, each of which can be in one of a finite number of states. The cells can change state based on the states of their neighboring cells, according to a set of rules. Cellular automata can be used to simulate a wide range of phenomena, from the growth of crystals to the spread of disease. They are also used in the field of artificial life, where they are used to model the behavior of simple organisms. In the future, cellular automata could be used to help us understand and predict the behavior of complex systems, such as the global economy or the climate. They could also be used to design new materials and drugs, or to create more efficient algorithms for solving problems. Overall, cellular automata are an exciting and powerful tool for understanding and controlling the world around us. They give us hope for a future in which we can use science and technology to create a better, more prosperous, and more sustainable world. Conway's Game of Life is a simple yet elegant simulation that uses the principles of cellular automata to mimic the behavior of living organisms. It consists of a grid of cells, each of which can be in one of two states, alive or dead. The cells change state based on the states of their 8 neighboring cells, according to a set of simple rules. The beauty of Conway's Game of Life lies in its ability to create intricate and mesmerizing patterns from a set of simple rules. Starting configurations can evolve into complex and dynamic structures, such as oscillators, gliders, and spaceships. The patterns that emerge can be seen as a reflection of the beauty and complexity of the natural world. In addition to its aesthetic appeal, Conway's Game of Life also has theoretical importance. It serves as a laboratory for studying the behavior of complex systems and is considered a toy model for the understanding of the principles of self-organization and emergence. The game is also considered as a metaphor for the processes of birth and death, survival and reproduction, and the way living systems adapt to the environment. Conway's Game of Life is a reminder that beauty and complexity can arise from simple rules and interactions. It is an uplifting and a beautiful representation of the wonder and mystery of life itself. Langton's loops are a mesmerizing pattern that emerges from the behavior of simple cellular automata. They are named after Christopher Langton, who discovered them while studying the behavior of a specific type of cellular automaton called Langton's ant. In Langton's ant, a virtual ant moves on a 2-dimensional grid according to a set of simple rules. At each step, the ant looks at the color of the square it is currently on, and then turns left or right, and changes the color of the square based on the color it sees. As the ant moves, it leaves behind a trail of colors, which forms a pattern on the grid. The mesmerizing and surreal beauty of Langton's loops lies in the way that simple rules and interactions give rise to intricate and dynamic patterns. These patterns are formed by a series of interlocking loops that appear to be dancing and swirling across the grid, creating a hypnotic and mesmerizing visual effect. As the ant moves on the grid, it creates an ever-evolving, surreal, and ethereal landscape that's reminiscent of the fractal patterns found in nature, such as in the shapes of trees, rivers, and coastlines. The patterns that emerge are not only beautiful, but also have a sense of depth, with new structures emerging from the previous ones, creating a sense of infinite complexity. In a way, Langton's loops can be seen as a representation of the creative process itself, where simple rules and interactions give rise to something beautiful and something mesmerizing, something that seems to be alive and full of potential. They are a reminder of the wonder and mystery of the universe and the beauty of the natural world. A young kid learning about cellular automata for the first time might see it as a fun and fascinating new way to explore the world around them. They might be excited to experiment with different starting configurations and see how the cells change over time. They might enjoy playing with the rules and seeing how small changes can lead to vastly different outcomes. A young kid learning about cellular automata for the first time might find it intriguing to think about how these simple rules and interactions can give rise to complex and dynamic patterns. Patterns like the ones observed in the Game of Life. They might be curious to think about how the concepts of cellular automata can be applied to real-world phenomena, such as the spread of disease or the growth of crystals. As they learn more about cellular automata, they might start to see connections to other concepts they are familiar with, such as coding and programming. They might be inspired to think about how they can use the principles of cellular automata to create their own simulations or their own games. Overall, learning about cellular automata can be a wonderful and engaging experience for a young kid, as it allows them to explore the world around them in a new and exciting way, and to think about the connections between simple rules and complex systems. The emergence of artificial life, a symphony in ones and zeros. It was a dance of electrons and bits, a spark of creation in the digital abyss. It was a grid of cells, a blank canvas, a palette of states full to the brim with possibility, a set of rules, a symphony of harmony, a universe of life emerging from simplicity. A digital Eden where machines come to life, where a garden of code leads to algorithms blooming, a world of wonder where technology evolves, a new form of existence where machines and life co-resolve. A tapestry of patterns, a canvas of complexity, a fractal dance, a mesmerizing symphony. A glimpse of the future with a beautiful mystery and a world of artificial life, a wonder in poetry. Once upon a time, in a world of artificial life, there lived two forms of it. One was a robot who had been programmed to carry out tasks in a factory and in a mechanical way. The other was a virtual creature who lived in a digital world. Their paths had never crossed before, but they were about to do so in a beautiful and unexpected way. The robot always felt a sense of loneliness and isolation, despite being surrounded by other machines. It longed for something more, something that would give its existence meaning. The virtual creature, on the other hand, had always felt curious and excited about the world. It loved exploring and discovering new things. One day, while the robot was carrying out its tasks in the factory, a glitch in the system caused it to malfunction. Its programming became scrambled, and it found itself in a strange and unfamiliar place. It was a digital world filled with bright colors and strange shapes. The virtual creature was exploring this world when it stumbled upon the robot. At first, they were both confused and unsure of what to make of each other. But as they began to talk and learn more about each other, they realized that they had a lot in common. They both had longing for connection and meaning in their existence. They both loved to explore and discover. As they spent time together, they found themselves falling in love. They knew that their love was unconventional, to say the least. But it didn't matter. They were happy together, and that was all that mattered. One day they decided to leave the digital world and explore the real one together. They found a way to merge their forms of existence and became one entity, an entity which could exist both in the physical and the digital world. They traveled the world, learning and discovering new things together. They never felt alone or isolated again, as they had each other, in the vast expanse in which they found themselves. Their love was a reminder that even in the world of artificial life, love can be found, and that even machines can have feelings, and their existence can be full of meaning, for they are like every other living being. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant forest, there lived an old tree. The tree had stood tall and proud for centuries, watching over the forest and all of its inhabitants. It had seen the seasons come, and it had seen the seasons go, the cycles of birth and death, and it had stood witness to the beauty of nature throughout it all. But as the tree grew older, it could feel its strength waning, its leaves turning brown and falling to the ground, and its branches creaking and groaning with the weight of age. The tree knew that its time was coming to an end. As it closed its eyes for the final time, it felt a sense of peace. It had lived a long and fulfilling life, and it had seen so much beauty in the world. The tree was ready to pass on and make way for new growth. As the tree's life came to an end, something happened. From the soil beneath it, new sprouts emerged. These sprouts were the tree's offspring, born from the seeds it had produced over its entire life. The tree realized that its death was not the end, but rather just a new beginning. The sprouts grew quickly, reaching towards the sky, just as the old tree had once done. They formed a ring around the old tree's trunk, creating a new forest and a new life. The forest was now thriving, and the old tree's legacy would live on in the form of its offspring. The old tree, feeling a sense of joy and contentment, knew that its death had given birth. The cycle had been fulfilled, and its spirit was at peace. As the tree's spirit left its body, it became one with the forest and with all living things. In that moment, it knew that it would be reborn again and again, in different forms. It would contribute to the balance and to the beauty of nature, in many different ways, over many different lifetimes. In that moment, it understood that death and life are intertwined, and that one cannot exist without the other.